Imagine that. Imagine if we did that. Anyway, we're
It started, is it?
Yeah, we're going.
So got me doing like a drum and bass thing at the beginning then.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, right, amazing.
Now we're behind schedule.
All right, sorry. Hello, folks. Welcome to Bluffers to Buffers. I'm Bob.
And I'm Ben. And
So
this week,
what you got?
a bit more progress, Bob. Do you know?
Yeah.
It's a mishmash. Really. There's a bit of me putting a fence in that I forgot to put in last week.
Right.
Actually, mainly it's kind of concentrating on some different techniques to achieve the rusty, tired, scrap look.
Cool.
Bits and bobs for the.
Where did you get inspiration for this?
From you, Bob. Hey, you watch videos on YouTube, don't you?
Yeah,
and,
of course.
Just there's some basically I've tried some different techniques.
Brilliant.
This isn't us or me saying
Maybe I
this
can learn something as well.
This isn't me saying this is the right or wrong way of doing it. This is just
You do this every time. You don't have to justify it.
Okay.
You know.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
All right, it'll never match your olfactory excellence.
No, I'm not saying that I know what I'm doing.
All right, let's not fall out about this. Actually, you raised a good point there because I watched a very popular YouTube channel the other day.
Yeah.
Really, what the guy does is fantastic. You've watched it. No, I'm not going to. No, it's not.
Okay.
But it's inspirational for both of us. And I was just a little bit disappointed that the fella had to spend 10-15 minutes sort of saying, oh, this isn't finished, this isn't how it's going to be. Because people have obviously been on there and given him a hard time.
Really?
I can only assume that. You shouldn't have to defend what you're doing, especially when it's that
not.
good. I mean, crikey. If I get to the point where I have to say, well, defend it in that way, where the fun's kind of going out of it, isn't it? Which
especially
is a shame.
when the guy's work is inspirational. To be fair, isn't it? You look at it and go, "That's just awesome."
Spot, man. It's a shame that it comes to that, but obviously, I guess there are some people that are absolute perfectionists, and fair play to them for that. I don't fall into that category.
No, me neither. I would probably say, though, because he has got quite a large following, the more you're going to get, the more people are going to start, oh, that's not right. The rivet counters, I believe they're called, are they?
Oh, you just think, you're going down that really, you're going down the rabbit hole really.
Oh, dear.
Let's talk about this fence. Anyway, that was...
Nice fence.
This is from Goodwood Scenics. Again, I'd already bought it. I can't remember what I bought that for. I bought a load of it for the yard on top of the bit in the corner.
Yeah. This is all metal, isn't it? This stuff's really cool.
It is really good. Obviously, you did the graffiti on the end bit, which is all one panel.
Yeah.
Probably should have cut that up into individual panels, but I didn't, so whatever. And at the other end...
I won't take offence.
No. Whoa, every pun intended.
Sorry.
It's got episode 6. It's already got that.
Yeah, it's got to this point.
But no, it's good quality stuff. It is real metal. You get that texture on it. So yeah, this was just me fitting it. This was actually 2 weeks ago now, or maybe 3.
I say this is outside because I can see your grass, your real grass, your real fake grass.
Real artificial grass. Yeah. No, it is. I actually sorted out my shed this weekend, Bob. A little move around. You'll see a bit of that later on.
It's satisfying, isn't it?
I was channeling my inner Bob because I know how much you like sorting stuff out. I thought to myself, I'm going to do it in such a way to mirror when you tidy up that I won't be able to find anything.
You wouldn't believe that if you came round my house, though.
No. I literally now won't be able to find anything, but I'll just be able to think, well, Bob will be well happy with that.
Brilliant.
So what I've done there is drilled pilot holes with my little...
They're wicked, those little... If you haven't got one, get one.
Get a sore finger. You found yourself giving a bit of pressure on it. Anyway. So...
You've obviously got your twiddle technique, not quite...
Yeah. My twiddling is all to
Bit of
cock.
Vaseline.
Yeah. So, fix it in place using some good old-fashioned Woodland Scenic cement. Just...
How do you stick the metal panel to the metal?
Super glue.
Oh, really? Simple as that?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Mistake I made there was filling the holes with the glue and not being able to find said holes. Put the fence in. But we've obviously got dobs of glue there. We don't want to be seeing them, so let's cover them up with some foliage, clump foliage, again, woodland scenics.
Is that what it's actually called, clump?
Clump foliage, I think it was.
Describes it quite well, actually.
Yeah,
clump foliage, yeah.
Again, just covers up that, at this early stage, those lumps of glue. Good idea to get them in there. We will add to it later on. It's just... I find myself with this, just doing a job, I think, I'm going to come back to finish that later on. But that's actually, with the whole layout's a lot like that, to be honest. But
sometimes you have to step away and let it mellow and come back to it, though.
I'd step away and cook dinner, actually, if you really want to.
What did you have?
Oh, blimey.
That was 2 weeks ago, you probably won't remember. Probably this ain't nice as it was.
A lovely bit of steak on the barbecue.
Oh, that's the dream. I hope you didn't travel too far for a barbecue.
I didn't travel anywhere. So anyway, passage of time there. Look,
wow.
I didn't film myself making that, but that's basically a lump of foam, and you're going to see why in a minute.
Yeah.
And I'm just covering it in black and brown and red paint. This I actually did at the weekend, this weekend.
So that was a genuine passage of time.
Genuine passage of time. So what the point of that is to get a bit of volume to our first pile of scrap. As you'll see here, I'm just roughly popping it together.
I see what you're doing here.
Rather than actually sacrificing loads and loads of locos and what have you, we've cheated a bit. But you need obviously the colour to be underneath in the first place.
Well, you've been doing some chopping up, haven't you?
That's the back half of that one up the top there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And this blue one again is just one of something I had kicking around. I think the roof had snapped off it or something, so I used the... This is literally just the first bits that I had kicking around. I thought, you know what, let's have a go.
Sound it out, see what it looks like.
And that carriage I've cut, sloped it off because that's one of the ones I used for the stack.
Yeah.
So now we spoke about this technique. We want... we need to get the effect of loads of chopped up rusty metal.
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to do that? Well...
Oh, are you going to tell me?
Yes, I am. Bob.
Awesome.
Only the other day I was doing some casual routing.
Oh, as you do.
And routing and planing, electric planing. And the shavings that come off, I thought, hello. They look of a size and shape. So I saved them in a bucket. If you must know, it's a little purple heart bucket.
Oh,
my daughter's one. She's asking for it back. She can't have it.
No, obviously.
And some random leaves in there. That's just me being lazy. Sprinkle them on.
This is actual genuine wood.
Genuine, just bits of old wood. And then what you do is forget to film yourself painting it. But what I did use is red oxide primer.
Mm-hmm. Did you spray paint?
I did, aerosol. Which actually eats into the foam, but it doesn't matter because you can't see it. But
in fact, that's probably gives it more of an effect.
Black, brown, red oxide primer, and you kind of get a look kind of like maybe that. There we go.
There you go, look at that.
That's a good start. It's not perfect, but it's a good start. Give you your basic
I like that.
Tones.
That is ingenious.
And all that is literally just to give us some volume for the pile of stuff. Passage of time. Now, we're jumping about, Bob. It's fast paced.
It is.
This is my first attempt with this technique of weathering and aging. So we've got some white weathering powder there and some matte coat varnish. Literally larraping it on.
It's funny because me and you have both kind of tried this mixing at the same time, haven't we?
We have.
To different effects.
Yeah. So this is trying to get the aged look about it.
Nice technique.
One thing I will say is because I've grown up enough to use enamel paints, wear gloves because that stuff gets everywhere. But what I am going to do now is take it all off, get it all off again using just the enamel thinners to remove it. In hindsight, I should have removed more because I think the finished article is a bit too white. But then it's a learning curve. But I think the principle is put it on and then remove it as much as you can to get the final effect. I'm getting through with enamel thinners. That pot I had for about 2 years and not used once, and I'm halfway through it already.
Well, we're getting into it. I'm the same. I've got 2 of them of acrylic left.
Yeah, same.
But I've only got 1 of the enamels.
Well, I've got half that bottle, so I'm going to have to get some more of that.
I think I bought out, when our little model shop shut down, sadly, I went in and rinsed the Humbrol stands.
I bought a couple of them then as well, and the glues and what have you.
Yeah, sad times.
But as you progress, definitely learning more techniques, and I think with refinement, I think this is definitely gets the best results. Put it on, and then lift it off.
Yeah, and just leave like a residue, as it were.
Certainly doing it with the varnish and powder method, you get the sticky, which then helps with the next stage, which you'll see in a minute, because it's still tacky, so the weathering powders themselves will stick to it better.
I remember when I first got weathering powder, I just had it on a dry brush going, it doesn't stick.
Yeah. And then you put varnish on it, or just spray some of that on it, blows it all off.
Yeah, brilliant.
But I've gone with that because
Looks all right, mate.
It's too pale. Anyway, so now getting your weathering powders, all the different various rust shades that I've got, getting them all out. Different but conjoined piles.
Have you eaten the ice cream already?
I have, yeah.
Good for you.
And I've got a soft brush, and then I'm just different colours, because it's never uniform, is it, rust? So getting a bit from each section, mixing it about a bit, and popping it on the varnish, which is still tacky. That's key. And it's quite textured as well. I'm getting loads on there, so it's not like just a dusting. Just whacking loads on there again. I'm sure there's a more refined way of explaining it. But
No, not at all. It's perfect.
back on the thinners, and what we're doing is dabbing in the thinners.
Back on the thinners, eh? So what have I told you about this, mate?
I tell you, I was shut in that shed. It was. I had a headache afterwards. So do it in a well ventilated area, kids.
Definitely, or not.
So it was just little tiny drip of thinners onto that powder, and what it's doing is it's then soaking up the varnish that you put on there and sticking it in. Same principle on that same front bogey there.
Did you use any isopropyl alcohol at any point?
I have yet to do that. I do need to go over the whole lot with a brown to dull it down, because as you'll see in a minute, I've used some of that jollop that you like to use.
What, decal fix?
No, the
the rustic.
And for me, it's a bit too bright because I haven't gone any further than literally just doing that. So now, here's another technique along the similar lines. I've mixed that matte coat varnish with the rusty powders there to quite a thin
almost all
consistency. Wash. And again, we're washing it and then taking it off with the thinners.
Yeah, nice.
Although this dried with a gloss. And I don't know why, because it was matte coat varnish, same varnish that I used before, but it dried with a bit of a gloss.
Did you shake the varnish up?
Well, I always shake it, mate. So I don't know what happened there. Let's try the error in it. But actually, the end result didn't look too bad. It looked like just some stuff had run down the side of the carriage. So all under the underframe there, giving it the treatment, as it were, and the end.
Obs.
Get some on the end. That's a dry powder technique I'm using there with the dab of thinners. Little dab will do you, Bob.
He's back for another episode.
And here we go. I'm moving on to creating some of the rusty panels. That's one I've cut out. I've tried to be quite rough.
All munched up, that, isn't it?
I've got an observation, man.
Go on.
Do you think the old Dremel cutters are designed for left-handed people? It doesn't matter how I held it or what I did with it. It was throwing all the bits of offcut at me.
Straight in your face. Yeah, 100%.
What's going on with
that? Yeah. I'm totally with you. I almost, because I borrowed your Dremel, then because I haven't got one.
It's more lethal
I'm
than
glad
the
it wasn't
9-inch
just
grinder
me.
we've got here.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing
because I often hold it. I have to hold it quite close to my face, so I can't see what's going on. And it was like, literally had to squint every time. What's that? So
this is your rustic stuff. I'm using a sponge to get this technique.
You talk about this sponge technique, didn't you?
I think it's a different take on it. So anyway, I was using the Dremel to get the sort of effect of edges that have been grabbed or cut with a gas axe or what have you. And obviously that's bare metal, so it's going to go rusty. So hence the application therein of this rust. But as we discussed, I think it will need a little bit of black and maybe some silver to denote uncorroded bare metal.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Because you'd think it'd rust instantly, but I think sometimes you do see a little bit of metal here and there.
It depends how long it's been there, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
So yeah, that sponge technique, I recommend you try it, Bob. It's just a different...
Well, funny enough, I haven't got much planned this weekend, as per usual. So I might give it a go.
It's just it's another string to thine bow, as one might say.
I did up my rusting game this week, as you well know.
You did, of course. So there we go. So that, again, as pointed out in that article for the Scrapyard that inspired all this, earlier Hornby models, such as the one I have there, when you get the old side cutters on them, they literally just shatter. Whereas the later stuff, you can kind of pull it about and tear it. It's a different plastic.
Right, gotcha.
So this
is almost like Bakelite when you cut it. It's got a funny old.
However, if you
smell.
leave it in the sun for a bit,
softens
it goes
up.
a bit soft. Yeah.
Oh, right.
So
heat gun on it then.
Yeah. Again, just a bit of old carriage that I had from the old vaccine thingy that we did the other day.
Yeah, nice.
Just bits and bobs like that we can throw in the pile.
Are you doing both colours, the darker brown
darker
as well?
And the light, yeah.
Nice, okay.
I go reverse to you though. I go dark first, then light on top, but that's just me. And here we go, just sealing all that in with a bit of matte varnish, which interestingly enough made some of those weathering powders turn white. Not in that section actually, it was a bit of roof I did, but it made it turn white. What's that all about? And this is by no means how it's all going to be when it's finished. I'm literally just trying it in there.
If I'm honest with you, the matte lacquer. I'm sorry. I'm terrified of, because I did the Spitfire last year. And it came out real nice passage time, and then I matte lacquered it, and it just went white and bubbly and horrible, and it made me do a
same
little cry.
Happened with that.
Yeah, you had it, didn't you?
That Sir Archibald Sinclair. There, literally just on the screen.
Yeah, so I don't like using it anymore.
This is the main layout. It's still there, Bob, but we had to tidy up. And it's there.
Whoa! Wow! Look at that.
So this is more of your sawdust painted up with your reds and browns and blacks.
That looks mega. Now you got a spread.
Just to blend it in. You know, like this is all still work in progress. I'm doing my defending bit, like we said that you don't have to. There's the digger, not the digger, the grab thing. You did some great work on that. I thought I'd pop it in this.
It has come out well, to be fair.
Very well, yeah. Love it. And there's Bob climbing up on board.
Good lad.
And Dog of Leonard.
Dog of Bob too.
And just working on this, I've moved the carriages to the far end.
I like all their little cabs. That's
I
cool.
thought they sit quite nicely there on some containers. So just adding bits and bobs, just feeling my way to see what fits nicely where.
I've got some little bits coming for you.
Excellent.
To have scattered.
Excellent. And obviously I've just bought that 3D printer, so the world is soon to be our oyster.
I just can't wait. Literally printing everything.
Yeah. So we'll look out for a video on that soon.
So actually, we can ask our very pleasant viewers if anyone knows of any CAD drawings and stuff that we could use.
Yeah, you can ask.
Leave them in the comments if you know any free software or anything like that. It's brand new to Ben, even newer to me because it's not mine. So, might be worth it.
Give it a go. So there's your grab. It does look good. It's coming together. I'm pleased with how this is developing. Oh yeah, you'll like this. Because obviously you did that little hut for me. I figured that's where that's going to be their mess hut.
I love the little sign already. You're wicked.
See that?
Awesome. Oh, we've got a bit of running in the background. Nice.
Yeah, set them running while I was doing
See that building on the left hand side we just scooted past. That was one of the first ones I mucked about.
Yeah.
I'd like to redo it now.
Okay.
A little Nissan hut as well. That's good.
Yeah. That kind of sits quite nicely there.
That's that scrap part's coming on.
Yeah.
Loving that.
It's a good start, I think. I'm pleased with it. Pleased with it so far. I'm pleased with how it's developed so far. And actually, now this is in the main layout room, I can run it on DCC as well now. So we can try I think, in my mind, I think I'm going to get some more on switches, so you can either switch it between DC or DCC.
Right, okay.
So it can be both.
With this, the shavings, are you going to scatter them everywhere?
Yeah, going to go everywhere. Literally, I was just concentrating on that pile.
Oh, the fence has come out well.
Yeah, the rusty one's gone in.
And then a new bit, yeah.
I was just concentrating on that bit this time. I want to blend them sleepers in a bit more filth, as it were. So yeah, that's where we're at. I think we're getting there. Again, although I haven't purchased anything yet.
No, we've just
I have
been
got my eye
tinkering.
on some washing machines and what have you on Goodwood Scenics. However, we've got that 3D printer now, but I think it might go against our principles buying a 3D printer to print the products. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I think we are going to get a point to this where...
It's the finer details, because like in my mind I want a stack of car engines in the car scrapyard, do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
And like those exhausts we saw on Facebook and stuff like that.
Yeah, because
the only way to really get that
ideas.
is to scratch build it. So, yeah.
Bet the dog is loving it. I hope the paws are all right though.
Dog of Leonard, they're hardened, mate. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rescue dog of Leonard. Just for those that were, because obviously the previous owner was called Leonard.
Right.
That's why it's not dog of Bob.
I'm still not sold on the Leonard thing. It makes me sad.
Well, I can't help that.
What if Leonard was actually called Bob?
What if he was?
Anyway.
Probably want to be giving it the old...
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope it wasn't too hard work this week for you. You can subscribe or like us or comment on RKE Junction, Red Knob End Junction and Bluffers to Buffers.
Yeah.
That is the way around, isn't it?
This is Bluffers to Buffers. Please do subscribe, like, comment, get involved. Always good to hear your comments. There's your dig alert. This is literally the last scene, so we need to be sort of going on with this.
Okay.
But thanks everyone for watching. If you've managed to make it all the way to the end, yeah. Catch you next week.
Ciao. Bye.
Still on the screen.
Oh, we're still on.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
done
bye.
now. Bye.
Bye.